The two girls couldn't wait to tell someone what they'd found. They burst into the kitchen, rushing to show Grace's mother the drawing. But the reaction they got wasn't what they'd hoped for. Instead, her mother snapped at them. "Throw that in the recycling. It's just a useless piece of paper." They were both so disappointed, but definitely not giving up. Their investigation into this Mary girl and her family would continue, and Katie knew exactly where to start. Her grandmother. Her granny knew everything about everyone in the village. As they were leaving, they overheard Grace's mother yelling at her dad about something. They couldn't make out the words, but it made Grace's stomach clench. Her parents never argued like this back at their old house. A secret fear crept in. What if they were getting a divorce? What would happen to little George? She pushed the thought away. She would take care of him. It was her duty as a big sister. And with that, they headed off to find Katie's granny. When they got there, she wasn't home. Katie was gutted. She knew her granny had probably baked something delicious. She was famous for it. Katie's stomach rumbled, but it would have to wait. Her friend needed her. Back at the house, George was oblivious to the tension between his parents. He was far too busy being bored to notice his dad slam the front door on his way out. What he did notice, however, was Maisie the cat, sneaking up the stairs and into the attic. Curious, he followed her on his tiptoes. Inside, it was so dark he immediately lost sight of her. Then, in the murky shadows at the back of the attic, he thought he saw his dad. "Daddy?" he called out, but the voice that replied, "Hello," was not his father's. A cold dread washed over him. He had to get out, had to warn his mother. But wait, where was Maisie? He couldn't just leave her here, but the fear was too much. He turned and ran. It was the only thing he could do. As he reached the bottom of the stairs, he collided headfirst with Grace, who was just coming in the front door. "Hey, watch where you're going, George," Grace shouted. "No. You watch where you're going," he yelled back, his voice trembling. He quickly told her everything that had happened in the attic, how scared he was for Maisie. Grace, ever the brave older sister, pulled up her sleeves. She would march up to the attic and prove to George that his make-believe man wasn't real. But she soon regretted it. The same thing happened to her. A deep voice called out from the darkness. Even in her panic, she scanned the room, spotted the cat, and grabbed her. They all had to get to safety. Now, they thundered down the stairs, the commotion echoing through the house. Their mother heard them and roared from the kitchen, "Stop running or you'll break your necks." They stumbled into the kitchen, breathless, trying to warn her about the man in the attic. "There is no man," she snapped. But she went to check anyway, and of course, there was no one there. She told them to go to their rooms, that she had things to do, and not to come out until she called them for dinner. She stood alone in the kitchen, in front of the sink, staring out the window, with tears welling in her eyes. "Why did we have to move here?" she thought to herself, as an old familiar feeling of dread stirred deep in the pit of her stomach. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the next part of the story.